I got the rider for a gig, input list, gear list, all that stuff, and I don't have the console with me right now to connect to it. I don't have my laptop to prepare offline. I don't even have a tablet. I just have my phone. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Mixing Station to actually, even on your phone, you can prepare on the road. I'm offline right here. I'm going to go in here and load this. I prepared this offline. And then when I go to the gig, I can actually connect and load this to the mixer and start working immediately. And that is a huge time saver because usually what are the options? I can either wait until I can turn on the console and start configuring things, which is almost never a good idea because I'm always pressed on time. Second option would be to get my laptop with X32 Edit and start making an offline scene, but I'm not always carrying my computer with me. Third option is to use Mixing Station, this incredible feature called Mixing Station Scenes. However, there is a gotcha, and it's that for the first time you have to connect to the console to get the settings from the mixer, because the default values of Mixing Station when you enter into your mixer offline are not the same as the X32 Edit when you initialize a scene. So just for the first time you have to connect to your mixer, initialize it, and save that, because for example your effects right here, you can see they are all the same. This is not what you see on your mixer. And also the settings of the gate and compressor and stuff, and the gain is -12. So you can't start building from that. You need at least a default initialized scene from your mixer. Then you can start building on it. So in this video, I'm gonna give you my personal initialized scene that I find myself doing things over and over again in every gig. So I made a default scene that when I want to reset the mixer, I don't initialize it from the settings, I load my scene. And I'm gonna walk you through the things that I've modified from the initialized state of the mixer. So let's go into Mixing Station. I'll go in offline. And here in the folder icon on the top right side of the screen, you have MS Scenes. So you're gonna go into it. And I already have this scene listed on Mixing Station Community. So if you go to the Mixing Station website in the Community tab, go over to Presets, and you type in the search bar, Initialize. That's the only one. You'll find my scene right here. You can go into it and download it. You can hit the download button, or I'll also leave a link for my Google Drive. I have the same scene right here. The difference is that this is a mixer scene that actually works on your mixer, and in the X32 Edit app, this is a Mixing Station scene. Okay, it's the same settings, but different files. So I'll go ahead and download it. And I'll click on the down arrow, local storage, find it in the downloads right here. Click on it. It's a .msz file. It is imported successfully. Okay. And now I can click on it and load it. I'll hit yes. This is as if I'm actually connected to the mixer. So everything looks the same, the colors, the names, the icons, and all the changes you make. Let's say I do some of this. I can save that in the folder right here, MS Scenes. I'll hit the plus, call it test, and hit OK. Now I have a scene that I can actually load into my mixer once I turn it on and I connect to it. I don't have to use a USB stick and transfer a file. I don't have to connect my whole laptop to the mixer to load it. It's inside Mixing Station. I connect my tablet to the mixer. I load the scene, that's it. In fact, that's a real example of a real gig that I did. This is the preparation scene. I did it on my tablet before the gig. And you can see right here, there is some EQ and some compression. These are presets for some microphones like the Shure SM58 and the wireless Beta 58A. I know roughly how much gain these microphones should have and what kind of EQ they need. Of course, I'm gonna tweak it later, but that's a very good starting point. So I can load some of the settings, not just naming the channels. I can also send some of the channels to the monitors so that the musicians have something in their monitor and are not waiting around, not being able to hear anything. So beforehand, I can, at least with the preparation of the names of the channels and EQ and compression, if I have presets for those, I can also send each instrument to its monitor so that when we get to sound check, the musician can actually play and not tell me I'm not hearing myself. He can start playing and I can start sound checking immediately. Let's say you want just some channels, not everything. I'm preparing a new scene. I remember that I had wireless microphones on channel 17 and 18, and these are the same mics I want to use. I can do this. I can go here to the MS Scenes and load this scene and hit remap channels. I think if you're watching this video right now, this will be a little bit different. You will not have the remap channels button. You will, when you load the scene, it will immediately take you to that page. These two buttons will come in the next version of Mixing Station. So first of all, I select none. So if I load it like this, nothing will change because I just want a few channels. So I'm gonna take the Wireless 1 that was previously on channel number 17, I'll put it on channel number 3. And wireless 2, I'll put it on channel number 4. And the acoustic guitar, I'll put it on channel number 5. And I'll hit apply. And yes. So now I just imported these 3 channels from the other scene, which is fantastic. That's much better than the default way that you would do it on the mixer with snippets and safes and whatnot. This is a lot less confusing. You can also save channel presets. So you can go right here. Local doesn't mean the mixer, it means mixing station. Mixer presets are what actually is on your physical mixer. Local presets are things saved in mixing station. So I have a guitar channel preset, a reset channel. I made a video about that. One for the SLX-D microphones, one for the normal SM58. You can save all sorts of things. So you prepare everything you need to prepare, and then you go into here and hit the plus button and give it a name. And if you continue to modify it, you'll hit save. It asks, do you want to override the scene? You hit yes. And if you want to delete it, you hit delete. And if you want to share it between multiple devices, you will hit share right here. So you can either export it as a file, like I showed you in the beginning. You choose local storage and you export a .msz file, or you can share it on Mixing Station Community, and this will open the browser and ask, do you want to save as new or overwrite? You choose one. If you don't already have it, you choose save as new, and you can give it a name and a description. And if you want to make it public, you need to give it a description, and you hit this check mark. It says share with others, and you hit save. If you don't want to share with others, it's just for you, don't hit that check mark. Now that you have it on your account, you can click on this little arrow to import and choose Mixing Station Community, and here you can see everything that you have on your account. So you just choose whatever you want, and it imported it, so it shows up here, and you can load it and do whatever you want. And you can do the same for channel presets, for mix presets, for effects presets. So you can really prepare everything on your phone or on your tablet. It's much easier than having your computer. It's not always the most convenient thing to use your laptop. So let me now walk you through the scene and what I did. First of all the EQs and compressors are on. By default, they are all off. And I find it annoying every time to go and turn on the EQ when I'm in here. The gates, I have left them off because I don't always need gates, but I always need EQ and compression. Number 2, very important, my main mix never goes out directly to physical outputs. It always goes to a matrix first, and then the matrix goes to the physical output. So I have set up the sends of the main left right to matrix 1, 2, and they are stereo linked, and I have sent the mono bus to matrix number 3. So 1, 2 is the mains, 3 is the subs, and I have assigned the outputs accordingly. So 15, 16 is matrix 1, 2, which is main left right, and 14 is the sub output, which is matrix 3. These things I will always do, so I have them in my default scene. Also, every channel is sent to the mono bus at 0 dB, but it's not on it. So you can see the mix on is turned off. So no channel by default is going to the subs, but by default the send level is at 0. So if I decide that this is a bass channel, I want it to be on the subs, I can just turn on this button or go into the channel and go to the last tab and turn on the mono bus, and I'll have it in my subs. I don't need to turn on the send. It's already at 0. That's something that also saves me a lot of time. I have that going for all the channels except for the aux and USB. So aux 1, 2 is linked. Usually that will be playback music. Same for the USB left, right. And for these 2 channels, I have the send down by 6 dB. And the reason for that is the following. If I have a left signal and a right signal and they are going to a stereo bus, they stay the same level. However, if you are combining the left and right together to go to a mono bus, now all of a sudden it's louder. And how much louder it is, we can actually see this. Let me generate a pure tone so it's not bouncing around. This is -18, this is -18. Both are being combined to a mono bus. This is -12. So when you combine 2 signals, it's a 6 dB increase. It's the same on the mixer. So that's why for the aux channels, I turned them down 6 dB in the mono bus so that my bass frequencies are not 6 dB louder than they should be. If I'm sending a mono channel to the mono bus, I send it at 0 because the level stays the same. If I'm combining a stereo signal into mono, I will turn it down 6 dB from the send. So my mono bus is ready. Whatever I want, even another bus, I can put it on the mono bus like this. Sometimes I would use the last effects bus to generate a 60 Hz sine wave on it to help the kick drum. Other than the speaker management and mono bus aspects, I have something really important in the routing. I already assigned the user ins to be exactly the same as the inputs page. So I'm always using my mixer with a stage box, and I have the channels 1 to 32 assigned to AS50A 1 to 32. So in case I need to change a routing to user routing, By default, the user routing is all off and you would lose audio. I have this mapped exactly the same as the inputs, so nothing changes in the audio unless you change it right here. You don't lose your audio while you're making your changes. And I also have the last set of inputs assigned to user in, so I could have some flexibility in the user in page without needing to go into the inputs page first to assign it to user in, if that makes sense. Same for the AES50 outputs. In the user out, I have assigned the same things exactly. However, for recording, lately I've been recording my main left right with the other multi-tracks into Reaper. So the way I'm doing that is by using the alternate page, and I assigned the last two outputs to main left right. So the last two card outputs are giving me the main left right. And in the card, I have set the last block of outputs to be user out. And the rest of them are just sending the normal stage box inputs. I rarely need to record all 32 channels. So I'd have the last two card outputs to be the main left right, because most of the time the mix from the mixer is pretty good, considering that I have already tuned the speakers in the place. Also, let's talk about effects. I have set up a limiter on my main left right, but it's off. Sometimes I use a limiter. Last gig I did, I really needed the limiter. So I put it in here as a placeholder with the settings, +3, -3, so no gain is being added. It's the same volume, but because I mix really loud inside the mixer, I don't want to clip it. So I can mix into the limiter. And if I need more volume, of course, I can turn up. So when I need the limiter, I just go into the effects page and I turn on the insert button, and it's on the main left right immediately. I have right here a dual combinator configured as insert. So if I need to use a de-esser or a multiband compressor on a vocal channel, let's say, I go into the channel, go into the insert section, turn it on, and select my inserts from here, effects, rack number 4, apply, and I have it right here with settings that I've used previously to tame harsh S's. I also have a guitar amplifier right here with some settings dialed in case the guitarist doesn't have his pedals or his amp or whatever. I can plug in a DI and get a decent sound. Reverb, delay are the defaults. They are good enough in most cases. And I have kept 2 dual graphic EQs in case I need to use it on a monitor or on a violin microphone, for example, that is feeding back. I can just insert it on the channel and go in here and find the offending frequencies. Never graphic EQ on the main speakers. Never ever. This is a thing of the past. Please don't do it. Tune your speakers correctly. Punishing the whole mix for one offending microphone is not the solution. So I don't really need more than 4 graphic EQs. These are 2 racks, but they are a dual, so each one has 2 inside of them. So I can use them on 4 channels. If you want to set up a live stream mix really quickly, you can go right here to mix copy and click on 0 dB to, let's say, bus number 11 and hit copy. And now if I go to bus number 11, you can see all the channels are sent at 0 dB. So from now on, when I want to prepare a scene from my phone or from my tablet, wherever I am, even if I don't have a computer, I don't have a mixer, I can go into mixing station, MS scenes, load the initialized scene first, then do all my edits and come here and click on the plus button right here. Give it a name, and then when I have to mixer and I'm connected to it, I can just load the scene and bring it over to the mixer. Make sure to also save it on the mixer once you're actually working, because sometimes the mixer might betray you. It doesn't happen always, but it happened once with me. A few years ago, the electricity went away, and when I turned it on, it was all initialized. Thankfully, I had it saved on the mixer so I could bring it back. And whatever changes you make, it doesn't actually modify the scene. You have to resave it, so you have to hit save again and overwrite. Also, some other stuff, all my mix buses are at -30 by default, because usually I find myself setting the level of the actual speaker between -30 and -20 maybe. For smaller speakers, I can go up to -15, but this is a good starting spot. So I have sound already, but it's not too loud that it could blow out a speaker or damage someone's ears. Same for the matrices, I have them at -50 as a starting point because I don't know which kind of speakers I'm dealing with. So if I turn on pink noise, I can hear some noise quietly, but in case the speakers are really loud, I don't scare anyone. And I also have a compressor on the main left right set up as a limiter with a 100:1 ratio and -10 threshold, because I don't always use the limiter. When I get loud, I would sometimes mix into the compressor. So this is an incredibly good starting place. All the things that I always do every single time, I have saved them into this scene so I can actually start working immediately without wasting any time on setup. I guess 2 years ago I gave you the first version of my initialized scene. This is version 2, so make sure to download it. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button, click on the video on screen right now, and I'll see you there.